Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about how to fill out your science project proposal. The first thing you need is a testable question. So here's some examples inside the blue area for each of the objects you're going to need to fill in. The question that I came up with today, I'll just go ahead and paste it in here, was how does adding sugar to a bubble mix affect the time a bubble lasts? And I just came up with that question after playing bubbles with my kids, and I was thinking, how could we make some bigger bubbles? The next thing you'll need to do is some background research. Okay, so I went ahead and did some Google searching, and I went through various websites, and I did find some information on bubbles. So in this example, this was the main idea that came out of my research. It said the detergent in our bubble solution relaxes the water surface tension and allows it to be more stretchy. Now the water reacts more like a skin of a balloon, trapping the air to create a better soap bubble. So that gives me some reasoning as to why bubbles last a little bit longer, or they're able to be a little bit stronger. And right here, as you can tell, I went ahead and pasted the site that I got it from. You want to see if you can get a credible web page. So in this case, I got it from ScienceWorks Museum, which seemed to be pretty credible. The next thing you'll need to do is set up your hypothesis. So you're going to use this format. If I blank, then blank, because, okay, and you can insert your research there in the because section. So again, we have our examples here at the bottom. I went ahead and wrote my example here for the bubble experiment. Let me go ahead and paste that in. And what I wrote is, if I increase the amount of sugar in my bubble mix, then the bubbles will last longer because it will relax the water surface tension. And that green section came from my research. This top section is what I'm changing, and this brownish section is the thing I'm going to be measuring in my experiment. And that brings us to our variables and our constants. The independent variable, and I know we've studied this, is what you've decided to change in your experiment. And in my case, what I've decided to do is add sugar to my bubble mix. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and place inside of my independent variable, adding sugar to the bubble mix. What I'm going to be measuring is how the amount of time the bubbles last. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that as well. Paste that in there. And I can time how long the bubbles last before they pop. And then for my constants, what are the things that I want to keep the same to make sure I have a controlled experiment? So these are some of the things that I thought of as I was thinking about this experiment. I want to make sure I use the same bubble wand, that I swing the bubble wand in the same way each time, and that I use the same type of bubble mix or the same dish soap. And then the last couple here are our control groups. So I need something to compare my bubbles to, right? So I'm going to compare my soap mixes that have sugar in them to a soap mix that doesn't. So in this case, it's going to be 1 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of Dawn dish soap, and that's going to be the control mix. And lastly, I want you guys to go ahead and list your experimental groups. And in my scenario here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use 3 different experimental groups outside of my control group. And the first one's going to have water, a 1/4 cup of Dawn dish soap, 1 tablespoon of sugar. My second one's going to have water, a 1/4 cup of dish soap, 2 tablespoons of sugar. And the third one's 1 cup of water, 1/4 cup of dish soap, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. So just thinking about these experimental groups, if I go back up, you can tell that what I'm changing, what I've decided to change in my experiment, my independent variables, adding sugar to the bubble mix. And that makes sense, right? This is what I'm changing in my experiment, this 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and 3 teaspoons of sugar. All right, so that's what you're going to do. If you have questions, please reach out to your teacher. Thanks.